Today, we're jumping back into Call of Duty history. We're taking another retrospective look at a Call of Duty, and this time, it's Advanced Warfare. Now, Advanced Warfare was that first game to introduce us to the advanced movement systems that we'd see for the next couple of years. We had a futuristic setting that may or may not have been everybody's cup of tea, and it also had an alternate ending that the world never got to see. Today, we're gonna break down a little bit of the information that came along with that and talk about the ending that you probably never knew was originally written for the game. That said, as we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. Did you like Advanced Warfare's campaign? Did you like Advanced Warfare as a whole? Whatever the case may be, drop your thoughts below. If you want to see more stuff like this, retrospective stuff, feel free to let me know as well. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Call of Duty. We have Vanguard launching in under 2 weeks, so we're gonna have a lot of stuff here coming up on that. If you're interested in any of that, hit that subscribe button. And finally, my friends over at G Fuel bumped up code Espresso to 30% off your entire order, just in time for the launch festivities here. So if you guys want to try anything out for the very first time, get a restock, whatever the case may be, links in the description below. Now's as best a time as any. That said, let's talk about this alternate ending that you probably never knew existed. Every so often in Call of Duty history, we get some behind the scenes looks at things that happened in games years prior, whether that be developers coming out and talking about their experiences in some things they enjoyed during the development, or in perhaps in some of the alternate things they were working on at the time. I know that we've talked about on the channel before, some trivia that Dr. Disrespect or Guy Beam has tossed out there in the past before while he was working at Sledgehammer working on Advanced Warfare, whether it be via some interviews with cast members talking about, in this case, alternate endings to games. Every so often we get that trivia here and some information that is rather fascinating if you ask me in regards to Call of Duty history, things that you don't quite know but would have been quite cool to see out if they actually played out as such. Today we're diving back into Call of Duty history into 2014 Advanced Warfare here because a couple of months back, Troy Baker, who played the main character here, your character within Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, ended up going on a podcast talking a little bit about his experiences with Kevin Spacey, with the Call of Duty team, and working on overall Advanced Warfare. One of the big things that came out of this was that there was actually an alternate ending to Advanced Warfare that the world never got to see. Now, Advanced Warfare's campaign was pretty good if you ask me. Was it the best? No, but it was good storytelling, and it was something that utilized a new way of telling the story in the campaign. By switching to cutscenes that were pre-rendered in that case, it allowed for the story in the part that wasn't actually controlled in game to look much more lifelike, to be mocap to the point where it was almost a movie at that point. And that was the big thing that made strides in the Call of Duty franchise here at this point. The storyline, obviously having that star power of Kevin Spacey, a gripping storyline, but it was also something that was criticized for being a little too linear, a little bit too predictable, and that's something that is undeniable if you ask me. That story, though, spoiler warning, I guess still after 7 years here potentially, you of course play through and find out that your initial targets that you thought were the threats to the campaign, they actually aren't. Instead, it's actually Jonathan Irons, played by Kevin Spacey, and Atlas, who turn out to be the ultimate baddies here at this. Coming down to the final mission, End of the Line Terminus, where you have to stop Kevin Spacey from setting off the Manticore bomb, and of course then killing thousands of innocent people. Now, his performance and delivery is phenomenal, and if you haven't seen it, this is the ending that we actually ended up getting.
Hello, Mitchell. Don't you f***ing move. I could ask the same of you. He's hacking into our exos! Come on, ammo! You rely too much on those things.
The city is falling. It's over.
What I have started won't end with me. It's bigger than me, and it's certainly bigger than you. You think I'm a monster? That's only because you don't have the conviction to do what's necessary.
Necessary. The attack on America. Unleashing Manticore, killing thousands of innocent people.
I'm saving the world from itself. When there's no one left to challenge Atlas, there will be no more wars. There had to be sacrifices along the way.
Yeah. Twisted throughout history have used the same argument. I don't think we've stopped the launch. They'll bring this entire building down on top of you.
I could have killed you in the prison camp. I could kill you now. But I won't. I'm not a monster.
Now, at that point, you end up chasing down Jonathan Irons. You end up having him hanging on by your arm, to which you then cut it off, then sending him into that die-hard drop-in. That's the end of the campaign. You killed the main bad guy. But again, that came down to it. That seemed so linear, so predictable, and kind of anticlimactic for some people. Now, we never got an Advanced Warfare 2. There potentially was that up on deck where they wanted to do it again, but because the ending of the Advanced Movement era didn't go quite well, you had to pivot. Then you had COD World War II, and, well, it was kind of a stand standalone game at this point. But coming back to it, Troy Baker went on a podcast with Dan Allen Gaming and talked a little bit about this, to which he revealed that that actually wasn't the intended ending, but the original was just something they didn't feel that they could actually get away with. Instead, that entire exchange with Irons, Gideon, and Mitchell, that conversation went an entirely different way. According to Troy Baker, it started the same way, where he sort of disabled your exosuits, or instead controlled it, but instead walked over to you, your main character, and then said something along the lines of, to really have an effective movement, you have to have a martyr. I know what I'm doing. And then he ends up guiding that pistol, puts it directly to his head, and controls you to shoot it, bang, end scene, end the campaign. Now that would be quite an interesting ending here. I don't know that that would make it any harder to have an Advanced Warfare 2 if that was the intended outcome here for this. I know that whenever studios pitch and plan an IP, they end up having that far future idea of what they could do next in there, but I certainly think that this could leave it way more open-ended for an Advanced Warfare 2 if it were to happen like that, instead of the ending we actually got. That ending, it was kind of like, okay, you stop the bad guy, well, that's it, that's everything. But this, it actually could have been something that Jonathan Irons would have had a point. He would have been a martyr for his movement, and therefore that could have caused an even larger uprising here in that Advanced Warfare universe. Could have made things go to the next level and be even more problematic. So that would have been such an incredibly gutsy, ballsy, whatever you want to call it, campaign ending, but we never got that. Now, if I were to give my own thoughts and opinion here on that ending, I think that that would have been way better. Not only just for the prospect of the maybe shock factor of it and the cliffhanger of all of that as well, and possibly the setup for an Advanced Warfare 2, but because the ending that we had with Advanced Warfare was kind of, I think, a disservice to the character of Jonathan Irons. He was this character that was always in control, always had the step ahead here, and then he was just bested by a generic chase down sequence. And of course, that little twist of, oh, the arm that he got him, that comes off and ends up killing him. Ultimately, there really is no right or wrong way to approach this here. Of course, you could like the original ending that we actually got shipped with the game, or you could like the alternate ending that the world never got to see. Truth be told, it probably wouldn't have changed the outcome by Infinite Warfare here. The Call of Duty community was a little bit tired of that advanced movement by all indications here, and that's why we saw that pivot back to boots on the ground with Call of Duty World War II. It was, for the longest time, rumored that an Advanced Warfare 2 was actually something that Sledgehammer was striving to create, but again, with that by probably the end of Black Ops 3's life cycle being something that just probably wasn't going to happen. Given the advanced movement burnout at that point, we never saw what would happen to begin with. But anyways, kind of a fascinating little bit of information that had come out here in the last couple of months, and that stuff is always something that I love to think about. I know that I mention it here on the channel from time to time. It might even be to an annoying extent. I love the stories of Call of Duty. I love the campaigns. I love the intertwined universes now at this point. And while we primarily talk about multiplayer and Warzone stuff like that, this stuff is absolutely fascinating to me. So I wanted to share this with you guys. Heard about this recently and I was like, that is really cool. So let me know your thoughts down below. Would you have liked to see this alternate ending for Advanced Warfare? Do you think that there are other alternate endings that maybe we learn about in the future that would have been really cool as well? Whatever the case may be, drop your thoughts down below. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Vanguard coming up very, very soon here, Warzone as well, and anything retrospective Call of Duty like this stuff. That said, if you're interested in any of that, hit that subscribe button. If you also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to chat with me outside of YouTube. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever the case may be, that link's down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.